I'm going to take a little bit of a different direction on some things. Not that I'm really getting away from what this channel is about, but I've mainly been focusing on camping and camping and nylon type tents and stuff like that. But there's more to camping than what I've been doing, and because I can't get there as often as I'd like to. I mean, it's quite a ways away where I was, camping out, setting up the tent, stuff like that, and I'm just not able to get there all the time. So I thought, why not do, some different things that go along with that. And prior to this, I'd been thinking more about survival kind of stuff too, because I thought I'd been doing a little bit of that, and even at an early age, I was active in camping. Even before I was a teenager, I told my dad one day, I said, "Dad, I'd like to join the Boy Scouts." Of course, and you get the lecture, well, you got to be good if you want to be a Boy Scout, and all that stuff. It was kind of funny. "Oh yeah, I will, Dad," but so I got into Boy Scouts, and my dad got me some camping gear, my first Bowie knife, and stuff like that. It was a big thing. Young guys got a knife, Bowie knife like that, used it for, hunting when I got a little older and stuff like that, for cutting deer and stuff. And so, there's a lot of good experiences, even way back then, stuff I had learned. And so I've been involved in this for quite a long time. And, I had a few little things, but, just lately, everybody's seeing so much more going on, and some of the need to, be a little prepared. I don't label myself as a prepper, because a prepper is somebody, I prepare to an extent, which is wise, but I'm not a prepper to the extent where I'm stockpiling a lot of things that the preppers do. And that's all good and well that they do that. I'm not saying that to run them down by any stretch of the imagination, but what I'm getting into a little more is survival, and some of the survival things. And I want to share some of that because I've already had some of the stuff. Some of the things I've got within like the past year or so. And so I'm going to go through some of this. I didn't pull everything out today, but I'm going to show a little bit. Some of the things I did get recently, because I've been thinking on solar panels and things like that. I haven't gone full blown with that yet. Eventually I will, and I'll fill you in a little bit. Eventually, I've got a few more years to retirement, Lord willing, and I hope I stay in good health. I've had good health so far. I hope it remains. As long as that happens, eventually I'm looking into buying an E350 van. Making a bedroom in there, pulling a cargo trailer. That part of it will have a kitchen and things like that. It would be half camper and half storage. So I'd be kind of camping incognito, but basically I want to retire full-time camping and do more videos eventually, because now I just don't have the time. I work 6 days a week and stuff like that. So I do what I can, and I don't get down camping as much as I used to be able to get down there. But anyway, I'll go into this, and what I got a little while ago were these tea lights, and they're not real expensive. I got a few of them here, not an awful lot. It may look like a lot there because I got a pile, but these don't take really too long to burn. And the other thing that's really handy is a reflective plate. Now it's just basically a thick mirror. And you can take these, you can place them on top there and light them. They won't crack the glass, heat rises, you can have this in a corner, lean that against the wall to reflect the light. The idea is that you're producing more light by the reflection, so you have to burn fewer of those. That's just something that'll give you a light in a survival situation. I saw one guy in a video claim you could put up a little tarp for a lean-to and use those for heat. I don't really know how much that's going to throw off. I think it's more beneficial for light. I took a few of these. I don't know what it was. It was more than this. I just got a few out here. May have had like 6 or 9 of them on there and lit them. they'll light up a little corner of the room. You know, if you wanted to sit down and read or something like that, I would say rather than put them on the reflective plate, lean the reflective plate against the wall, put the tea lights in front of it so it kind of glows out a little bit more. You could even get two of these. You know, put them in the corner, you know, one in each corner. More reflection, right? So that's one thing. The other thing I do, quite a while back, I used to have oil lamps. And I used to even take them camping. Well, I'd have to pack them in a box, put foam around and protect them. I says, no more of that, right? And because they're just too hard to move. I never broke one, but they would still be very easy to break. I got the oil lanterns. These are far more versatile, and you can hang them. You know, these have a small reservoir, so you know these may burn like for an evening. They're not something you're going to be using for an all-night light. You know, but they're handy. And I get, you know, I get the bottles of lamp oil like that. I got 2 or 3 of these here, something like that. I carry a few different ways to start fires. I got matches. I'll show you some other stuff in a minute. I keep these kind of lighters. I got a few of these. I don't know why. I must have bought a 3-pack or something thinking I was out of them, and then I found the other ones later or something. So I got a bunch of them. Those will last a while. Rope. You can never have enough rope. This I use for tying off between trees, hanging tarps, and things like that. Some of this is for, this type of rope is for tie downs. You can get the paracord for, you know, tying, you know, wood together, logs or whatever, for making lean to or whatever you need, stuff like that. And you know, I'm gonna even get more of that. These are, this is 48 feet each of these packs. These are, this is a 100-pound test. This is usually the packs I were getting was 100 feet. Yeah, this is 100 feet, and even 200 feet of that can go pretty quick depending on what you're doing. And so that's some of that stuff. The basics. Heat, light, and cooking, right? I mean, we can do all that with wood, but these are some different ways with, you know, the tea lights, which are just basically little candles, you know, and different things. You know, the lanterns. Propane lantern, one of the best. This will give heat and light. And one of the things I advise, if you're in a tent and you go outside of the tent, don't leave this on. And I'll tell you why. When I was camping, Camper Hollow at that time was located by a swamp. And I had a bad habit of leaving the lights on inside the tent. And guess what? The bugs love light. So when I went in the tent, they followed me in there. And I said, no more of that. Turn the light off. Hang one of these in a tree outside the tent. The glow from that will go inside the tent a little bit. So when you go in, you got a little bit you can see. Then you close your door. Then you turn the light on. See? Keep the bugs out. I use these sometimes. I have 20-pound tanks. I have 30-pound tanks for propane, depending. I have distribution posts. You'll see some of those in my earlier videos. Those distribution posts are great. You can set a tank outside your tent, run a line in. You can run these lights, run your camp stove. I have a Coleman, you know, stove, stuff like that. This has a self-igniter on it. I'm not going to open that up just to save time because I got a lot of things to go through here, and this is going to take a little bit of time. Some of this stuff maybe I'll take a little time to show in more detail, you know, at a later time. But that's some of that stuff. I pick up all kinds of things here. I have these on. I'm going to put these back in here because that's something to show you after a little bit. Hopefully I can run through this, you know, quick enough without extending it. I picked these up. These are carabiners, I guess they're officially called. I just call them clips. You know, they're carabiners. I keep these around. I use them for a lot of things. You can use those for you know, attaching ropes and whatever you need to do. I use them even for keys. If I need extra keys here to do something, pull off the truck key, take these open locks and whatever, I can go start the truck, let it warmed up, whatever, you know, that's all there is to them, and they're just a handy little tool. And I may even get more of them. I've seen people take them, and they'll take their tent spike into the ground, a little length of rope, put one of them on it, bring another rope down, tie it to that, and then when you attach this to your tent stake with a little rope, it stays there because it's easier, you know, just hooking a rope through here than just putting it through that stake and tying it every time. That's just, you know, a little extra something if you want to spend more money. And this is one of the handiest things that I found. I got probably half a dozen of these. This is my first solar power, by the way. Bought these last year, and I bought two of them. The first two I bought they didn't have an on-off switch. They weren't like this. They weren't the spotlights. They were just the ground lights. You could stick in the ground. Didn't really. I said, I don't want them. Yeah, they were a lot cheaper, but I saw these. I said, that's what I want. And they cost a bit more. Okay, there we go. I was looking at that. On-off switch on there. See, it goes off. Daylight, right? I just brought it closer to the window. The light, when the light hits that, it tells the light there's enough light and it goes off. Block the light and the light comes on. So these, even if your switch is on, the light will turn off if you're not using your batteries. Got a little stake in the bottom, you just flip that around, sticks in the ground, you can turn that whatever direction you want. This swivels this way, points your light wherever you want. And they're handy. I've used tiki torches. You know, you gotta keep buying fuel, you know, and stuff like that. They're nice. I'll still use the tiki torches. I like them. They look like, I had them all set up one time. I had a bunch of people over at Camper Hollow and stuff, and they walked down there and somebody goes, "This looks like Survivor." I said, "Well, it's basically what it is, you know." I was, you know, completely off grid, you know, and I take a generator, you know, for backup, and I recommend always having a generator for backup. Hand warmers, especially if you camp in the winter like I do sometimes. There's the fuel. You get this little pack. I've had this for a long time. It's beautiful, and there's have a lot of stuff in there that keeps it organized. Little container to put the fuel in. Top comes off. Take this little. That's the burner. Take that off. Fill this line. Fill it up, do that 2 times, you're full. That's all it takes. Alright, pop it back on. I'm going to let that set a while. There's a little wick right there. You light that, just let it sit there and burn for a while. This top part is like an infrared heater. It'll start to glow. And after a while, when you get that going, blow your little flame out. Put your top back on there, let that set for a while. That whole thing will get hot. And I use the bags. Put it in the bags because it will get hot, and then you can handle it. Put that. They make a belt for these too, I believe. You put them, you know, on your backside, right on your kidneys. And you want to dress warm, of course, too, but they'll keep you warm in very cold temperatures. Nice, and I've had them for a long time. I keep the, you know, little propane cans. I got a few of these. These are handy. I don't use them extensively. But sometimes if I'm just going for like an overnighter, I don't want to carry the big tanks. These are great for that. I got half a dozen of them. And these are nice because I used to enjoy canoeing. I'd get out there, I'd stay out there all day long, come back as, you know, dark as I could be. And I sold the canoe because I want to get a fishing kayak. I just love fishing. I could just live out there. So I got these watertight containers, storage case. This one's for a cell phone. You can put they just flip open like that. You know, they got a strong hold, a little tough, but that's what you want. A good sized smartphone fit right in there. Close that down and just seal that shut again. That's all it's doing. Same thing here. This is you know, a little big one, works the same way. Flip over, pull them back. Wallet, keys, whatever you want to put in there. Now, this one I like because it has a clip. You could even clip it to this to keep these together. Okay? So you don't lose them. Take another clip, carabiner. Clip it on that. This is just like a key ring. Clip it on there. Fasten it to the inside of your boat, however you got to do that. And keep all your stuff dry in case your boat tips over. These will float too. You're going to float on top of the water, swim over, get them, put them back in the boat, flip your boat back over, and away you go. Stove. I watched a video on YouTube. The guy had this stove, a little folding stove. It wasn't this tight, but he opens this thing up, he gets some wood and builds a little fire under it and he cooks his meal in it. I thought, that is phenomenal. Talk about survival, there you go. And you just get yourself a little mess kit. I have, you know, kettles and pots and stuff I use just for camping. It's not like a little mess kit, but if you're just doing a overnight or weekend, it's all. And I may yet pick up another mess kit. I don't know what happened to mine when I had it when I was a kid, but that was a long time ago. But anyway, he had a fold-up stove in his video. The fold-up stove cost $80, and I says, for that I could sit down and cut some metal and make one. How hard is that? You get some little hinges, you do the nuts and bolts, you put that together, and you can make one if you got some ingenuity. So, some people want to spend $80 on it. That's fine. That's your choice. I don't. This was under $7. For that price, I'm not going to build one. I'm going to buy this one. Now, I told one guy about this. I told him where to get it. He went and looked. He said, "Oh no, you got to use the, you know, canned heat. It's Sternal, and they promote that in the thing. You don't have to use the canned heat. And I'm going to show you. You open this thing. It's not hard. A child can do this, and this just flips in and locks into those slots. That's all there is to it. I got the bottom up actually just to show you. Let me turn it this way, okay? Sternal canned heat goes on these clips. It slides in and sits there. From here to here, there's another bar in here. Just sits there. Put your pot in there and cook. I'm not going to do it that way. I'm going to put my wood right in there. All right. That's how hard is that? That's not hard. You can still build a fire in there. Get your little fire going, and when it's ready, if you want, you can even flip this up. You still got an opening, see, down in the bottom to let your air in. Okay. Designed that way for a purpose. You get your, you know, and this side allows you to get in there, get your fire going, and then you just flip that up, put your pot on there, and you got your stove. I'm going to get another one or two more of these. I'm going to have 2 or 3 of them. These are phenomenal, especially if because I usually I have a big pot that I keep hot water in there. You know, you need that. You know, you want to bathe. I have a shower tent going there. I heat that big pot. Dump that into a 5-gallon bucket, add cold water. I got 5 gallons of warm water. I bathe Filipino style. Just put a ladle it out and dump it on myself. Takes 5 gallons of water and I'm clean again. But that's one of the handiest things. And I don't know if that's gonna heat the big pot of water. I haven't tested that yet, but I suspect that there's a good chance it will. So that's I got that one at Walmart, by the way. They got them over there. You know, they may even be under $6. I don't know what they are in your area. That's what it was here. So don't quote me on that for prices in your area. I'm going to go through this. This is I call this a fanny pack. I've had this for a long time. I don't wear it much. It's great for. I used to wear it when I was hunting big game in the Adirondacks, and this is great. Keep a lot of things in her. Nice sharpener. I'm not going to go through all this 100%. You know, I'm sure most people watching this video knows how this stuff works. If you're going, you know, deep into the mountains, into the forest, you want that compass. This works with a topographical map too. You got an arrow here. You put this. You set your map down. You follow where north is. You got a red needle. You put north. You put this arrow on there in the direction that you want it to go, and it points you on the map. And you can stand there and get behind this and look physically and say, that's where I gotta go. Beautiful. I've been way back in there, you know, 25 miles from civilization. We went back in like 17, 18 miles by boat, walked back another 5 miles. You look around, you don't have a clue where you're at. This will get you back home. And so that's a must. And you buy a good one, it's well worth every dollar you will spend on that. All right, some of that's just hold hunting lights and stuff like that. I'm not going to go through a lot of that. I'm going to go through, let's see, I've got a sharpening stone. That's something that's good to keep around. What do we got here? Alright, more fire starters. You want to keep this kind of stuff around. Magnesium, I got another one in there that's not opened yet. I showed this to my daughters when they were little kids, took them camping. And these are great. If you haven't used these yet, most of you probably know how to use them. It's easy. You know, I carry a Swiss Army knife, one of the greatest tools that I've had. I've had carried this kind of knife for years and years. And you just shave off metal shavings next to your kindling. You know, you can build your fire normally like you would. Do little shavings of this, about the size of a dime or a nickel. Flint on this side, give it a strike. You know, if it doesn't, you strike it until it catches. Once that magnesium, it's amazing that metal will burn like that. It just poof, it goes right up. And you know, just a good way to start a fire. You know, matches are wet or you don't have a lighter. This one, a lot of people are familiar with this. Ferro rod, you know, and you just get your kindling and whatever. Some people carry Vaseline, cotton ball, stick it in there, and you know, hit that, poof, there you go. Okay. I can get into more detail on a lot of this stuff, but we'll do that at a later time. That's going to be once I you know, get back out there camping and get some stuff set up and stuff like that. So this video is going to be a little bit long anyway by the time I get done. If you're going, I mean, I've done some really extreme camping. And like I say, I'm back in our outfitter tent, you know, back in no man's land. This stuff is great. We set up a red line. Joe went out and actually set it up. He went back in there. I had been back in there 5 miles from the town. I think he may have been back in there 7 miles. And you get back in there and, you know, you see animals that you don't normally see. But these are great. If you're going into unknown territory, you just take little pieces, cut them off, tie them to a tree as you go in. When you come back, you just follow that red line right back out. That'll get you back to where you're going. That's a survival thing. Another magnesium bar. Knives. Knives are very important. Survival. This is just a, you know, cheap hunting knife. It's got good metal, but it's just a cheap hunting knife. It's this fishing knife, you know, scaler, because I like fishing. I gotta have that. This is my Bowie knife I've had since I was a kid. And it's original Bowie knife. This is Western Germany, I guess it come from. And it says original Bowie knife on the blade. This one I sharpen on a stone. Sharpening stone takes a while, but you're going to get yourself a nice edge on that. Okay? That's the way I like to sharpen. I do use the faster sharpeners sometimes, but not always. Alright, just hunting tag stuff in there. Got a old deer bleat. Use that, hunting. Okay. So that's some of the stuff I keep in there. And maybe I'll do, you know, I'll do some other videos that show some of this stuff in a little more detail, and just show what can be done with it. And once I get out in the field again too, we'll do more of that. Thanks for watching.